All right. Hi, everyone, and good afternoon to you. Thank you for joining us today for another great session with the student. And I want to say once again, welcome to Abuja 2023. This is going to be a memorable conference for many of us. As promised, we have two of our distinguished guests here who are ready to impart knowledge and share with students in the course of the conference. I'm going to ask them, they are actually busy, so it's out of their busy schedule. They have to step out of their meetings and to be with us. They have to cancel a lot of things to be with us. So please, I would really, really appreciate if you can um, drop your questions that you have for them, and also as they share from the depth of their experience. So I'm going to start by introduce. I'm not going to introduce them; they are going to introduce themselves. So I'm going to start with Ebenezer Luluto. We have two of them. Ebenezer Luluto is here, and then my dear friend Aloy Maduforo is also here too. So they're going to introduce themselves, tell us about who they are, and then what they do. So I'll start with uh, Aloy, and I'll also end up with Luluto. Aloy, over to you, please.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, sir.
Good morning from here. My name is Aloysius Madoforo, and I've been a teacher for some time now. Back in Nigeria, I was lecturing in University of Nigeria in Soka before I moved over to Canada. Presently, I'm in Canada for a study, and also I'm working as a researcher in University of Calgary, and I'm doing a second PhD at University of Calgary on leadership. Thank you.
Great. No, we have the right person here. He's doing a PhD in leadership, and this year's conference is all about leadership. So thank you very much, Aloy, for joining us today. Oluloto, can you just introduce yourself to us, please?
Okay, thank you, Leslie. And my name is Ebenezer Luluto. I'm the USAID Mission Nigeria nutrition specialist. I'm currently on the short TDY outside the country, and I'm happy to be here, but for a very brief moment because I have a session going on now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You can see he has a section that is currently coordinating, and he just had to be here with us. Thank you so much, Ebenezer, for being here. I'll quickly start with Ebenezer to kind of share with us, based on some of those questions that are burning on our heart that we would really, really love to ask you. Ebenezer, please tell us, how did you transition from being a student to becoming a professional in the field of nutrition?
Thank you, Tosin, and thank you. If you can hear me, let me just first of all say that there's no matter where we are, where we go, we cannot rule out the God factor. So for me, one of the most important and critical element is God's factor, because He has plans for everybody and He can lead us to His plan. So I don't even know what is nutrition. As at the time I was undergraduate, I studied biochemistry, and you know, when after some years, I was working for private sector. But one of the things that I observed is that I need to improve myself. So I went to apply for master's degree, and I wanted to do master's degrees in health education because I like being a teacher. And then when I go to the department, I needed somebody to sign for me my form, maybe referee form, one of my lecturers, and a mentor too. And the lady said no, that there's nutrition is the future. Nutrition is the future. Now that I needed to go and check it out. As at the time I was applying, there was no master's degree in that school. They only had PGD. It's weekend. So she was like, I said, I wasn't convinced, but over time I thought about it. Well, let me just go and try. Since I'm actually working and I'm busy this weekend, People were like, what do you want to do with this? You have a good grade. Why do you want to go and do PGD in nutrition and all that? Well, I went ahead and did it, changed the course, and um, when I started, I kind of liked the course, and I began to develop a lot of interest in the course, and it's so practical compared to all those biochemistry structure that I'm used to, uh, and all that kind of a thing. I feel this is more, it has like human angle and all that. And I saw opportunity to provide service for children that are malnourished and all that, and I see transformation in their life. And I say, well, I think I should go that direction. So eventually, I resigned from my work I work as a private sector person. I was already established, and I went back to do master's degree. And that was where myself and Leslie we met. I think one of field work in Oshun on zinc. That's why we have this contact, and we've been friends since that time. And of course, I finished the master's degree, and I was very good at it. Both the PGD, the master's degree, I had distinction. Even though I've left school for more than 10 years, before I went back, but I had a lot of interest in the system, in the nutrition programming, and so I started doing small errand, go and do this for us. I'll go sometime, they will give you money, sometimes they don't get money. But what is important was that I was gathering experience all through that time. And I had very wonderful mentors who were always there to support, explain to me. And they also throw me into, to it. You can do it. And I started taking responsibilities over time. I consulted for UNICEF for about 5 years, and I, went to join Linkela International as a program officer on one of their projects. From there, after project was closing out, I moved to another organization. I joined Save the Children. I joined CRS, and eventually, I ended up now at this point. I'm with USAID Mission in Nigeria as a mission nutrition specialist, which is a good thing. And so, as I said, there's no limit to what you can achieve, and except we limit ourselves. And so we also have taken it upon ourselves because we enjoy mentorship and had folks sat on our head, but we're also very humble enough and ready to learn and ready to take responsibilities and ready to be responsive. It also contributes to that. And part of the thing I think also help is the networking. When I was in private sector, I was a marketer, had opportunity to do meet a lot of people. I was very aggressive in my marketing. I get award, I get all these meet targets, I surpass targets. And so anything that we are doing, no matter how small, no matter how big, we must be found to be faithful, dedicated, committed, and hardworking. Because there's nobody that will see somebody that is hardworking who will not want to hire that person. A lot of intelligent people out there. That's why I see people who do Yahoo and all that. They are very intelligent, but they don't have integrity and all that. So some of us we are looking for quick gratification. We want it now. For if you want to go far, then you have to start small and you have to go down so that you can have a deep tap root and then you can grow up. When you grow up, nothing will pull you, not not even hurricane will uproot you because you have a very deep root and you have that relationship that you have built with people over the years. And so those are some of the things that I can attribute, to from where I was. I mean, the other time when you were socializing this event with me, we are just talking about how we met in Oshun and some of the things how we were at that time. Like student was a student, postgraduate school and all that. And we have seen changes over time. And this is not even the peak. It's part of the steps to the higher heights that we're still going to get to in our career and in life. And so those are some of the things, perspective I would like to share at this point. And back to you, Leshi.
All right. Thank you very much. I sincerely appreciate you for, I mean, giving us this brief story. This is like a story of about 20 years that you have just shared in less than less than 3 minutes. Oh, that's so inspiring. And as you can all see from what Ebenezer said, how everything started off. He did not set out for the journey to be like this, but he was able to find himself where he is now. And can you see how it all got started? All right, from going for something that she feel is important, even though the reality does not show that it was important then, but because of the belief, because of the commitment, he was able to pay his dues, all right, and then did the all things that are expected of him as a student, and then he transitioned from being a student to becoming a professional. Do you also notice something about his movement? He moved as someone who was independent before. After some time of being away from school, he continued with his education. After a while, then of course, he volunteered, he was mentored, and then he ventured into working in development agencies. He started with UNICEF. He moved to HKI. From HKI, he moved to CSI. From CSI, he moved to CRS. From CRS, he is now in USID. And guess what? He made mention of something. He said, "We are not there yet. It's just a step, all right, to the destination." That means it's still a work in progress. It's still on a journey. It's still on a journey of self-discovery. It's still on a journey of knowing himself the more, and of course imparting the word. Thank you so much, Oluto, for sharing this with us. So before you leave, I will quickly want to ask you, Oluto, before you leave, I know you step out of the meeting to be with us, but I will quickly want to ask you now that, looking at the theme of this year's NSN conference, which evolved around leadership in nutrition, that is just the summary of everything, evolved around leadership in nutrition. How would you kind of tell us the expected leadership skill set as well as competencies associated with a career in nutrition that you feel every student should be conscious of? All right, what are the leadership skill set or competencies as student transition from being a student to becoming a professional? What are your recommendations? What are your suggestions to our dear friends and colleagues?
Thank you. So one of the things I wanted to recommend, which for me has worked over the years, is that you must be ready to serve as a leader. Even the scripture said that any one of you that wants to be the leader should be a servant of all. You must be ready to do the least of all things, for things that ordinary people will not want to do. And let me tell you, it does not mean that because you humble yourself and you did maybe when I was working in private sector, I was a manager. I was also a messenger. I was a driver. Any work that comes, I'm ready to do it. So at the end of the day, that service, that sacrifice, that humility, that understanding that, look, I'm going somewhere, I'm not there yet, is help you to be able to motivate you to pay the price for leadership. Before you see somebody, they say it's a general, he must have gone to war. Must have gone to war. And I tell you, war is not a joke. So I always say that that attitude of servanthood, one. Two, I would think that you you need to have that. One of the characteristic of a leader is that sacrifice, this kind of putting putting people before yourself. You must be ready to serve, because why do you want to be a leader? If you want to be a leader, do you want to be a leader like our politicians who just want to grab everything on their own? or you are becoming a leader because you want to serve the people, you want to solve problems. If people see you as an asset and you can solve problems, they will look out for you, and you will be given opportunity to do what you need to do. As I said, there are a lot of intelligent people, but we don't have many people who have a leader's heart. Leader must be somebody who has a listening and learning skill. So there's no end to learning. So that's why even after 10 years that I've left the system, I went back. I had to start as a PGD, PGD, you know, because that was what was available at that time. And I did it with all my heart. So if you see somebody that is dedicated, somebody that is ready to serve, somebody that is ready to pay the price, and you are looking for somebody to hire, who are you going to look for? Even if the other person that is there is the one that is most intelligent, but it doesn't have those characteristics of leaders, I will not go for that person. I will pick, and I've been in some situations where we need to hire, and we have some people perform better than the other person. But when we begin to interact with them and listen to some of the things they were saying, you realize that this other person, even though he's intelligent, he's brilliant, than this other person comparatively, he will not be a good team player. So we couldn't hire him. We had to hire the person that came second. So some of these things happen, all around. And so you need to understand the subject matter. The idea of just, reading to pass has gone. We must be solutions. We must be solution, because people are looking for a solution. They are not looking for liability. Nobody wants to hire you, for example, and then they will start teaching you. They want somebody that they hire you, give you a laptop. You are the one that will be bringing ideas and all that. And don't forget, no matter what we do, you cannot overemphasize God's factor. God's factor. That part of integrity is, you cannot overemphasize it. We are looking for people who are sincere. Even when you don't know, you can ask questions. Me, I'm not. I will ask if I don't know something. Another, I will call. Please, I'm looking for information on this. Do you have? Can you help me? So those are some of the things that a leader doesn't have to be the one that know everything, but somebody that know what he knows, and somebody that know what he doesn't know, and how he can engage others to be able to, solve problems. So I will stop here, and if you permit me, I will run. Hello, Tosin, I do not hear you anymore. Are you on mute?
Sorry. Okay, yeah, I can hear you. So I said I will permit you to run, but before you run, let me just shoot you this last question. Okay. So what will be your uh, tip if you are to advise anyone now? I know you have given so many information to us now, which I will recap. But if you are to give us any tip now for anyone who is currently a student, or who has graduated, who is struggling to find his or her own fit, and the person is really passionate about staying back in the field of nutrition, what will you be your one advice to that person that will make him or her to be relevant in another 10 years to come, in another 5 years to come?
Thank you. So I think there's a scripture that says, whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your heart. If you're a type that is interested in nutrition and this is your passion, there always going to be something for you to do. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you don't have a job, for example, what aspect of nutrition can you engage in? There are so many information. There's so many information, for example, online. That so many even free online courses. If you go to Harvard's, site, you see a lot. You go to Global Health. There's so many of those sites that you can access to keep yourself updated. What you cannot get in a day is experience. You can get your certificate in one day. Of course, that certificate you didn't get in one day. It took you 4 years to get there. Assignments, exams, and all that. The same thing when it comes to experience. People, you cannot get all the experience in one day. So no matter how small what is available is, It might even be like a local CSOs in your neighborhood that you volunteer for. Might be to volunteer in the air facility. I'll say, well, I'm a nutrition person. I'm currently waiting for postgraduate school or waiting for a job, but I won't mind coming twice a week, 3 times a week, just to come and support the work you are doing in this place. And then you are there, maybe you are clerking, you are with the MCH people or nurse or midwife, and then you see the way they are discussing about what's it called, elimination of breastfeeding and all those discussions, weighing pregnant women, food that you should be eating, the iron and folic acid. You are learning all those ones, and you are also serving. It might not necessarily be somewhere that is far away. It might just be within your neighborhood and you can walk there so that you won't be looking for transport. You do it 3 times a week. Well, they might give you something, they might not give you anything. Doesn't matter. But what is important is that your eye is on the ball. And those experience you are getting in that place, you that are there, if you do it for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, you already have 4 months experience. Somebody who is sitting down and is playing with an iPhone or is playing with computer games in the parlor and is sleeping and eating and is fighting with the junior ones for computer games. The experience you have gathered, he doesn't have it. So if you are not looking for somebody, for example, and say, well, we need somebody who has this experience, you already know in some of the language that they use, within the health system that are nutrition specific, some of the things that they discuss about. Some of the way thing rules at the community level. You understand some of the stakeholders that they engage. Oh, what development committee, all these people that they want. Those are some of the things that you will not pick in the classroom. And since you're not already on the walk, you might not get opportunity for them. But by mere just offering yourself to serve, people have mosques, they have churches. You engage people as long as you have individual human being in that place, then you have something to do. Because there's always a service or a support system that somebody will need that you can provide. And if you do that, there's no way, even if you don't get a job at that time, there's no way it can be taken out of your CV. So if I write, for example, now work experience, I work as maybe a program assistant at so and so and so primary health care. You are not lying. Then you listed some of the things that you are doing in that place. It's already canned for you. You are some of them. So that's one. And then some of those certifications that you are pick online, you list them there. When they are looking for people, all of you are greyhounds. Say, this one has advantage over it because he has 1, 2, 3, 4 things, and that can count for you. So that might be some of the way you look at. Some doesn't have to be everybody white collar or get in a kind of formal employment. You can also begin to think about what you can do. Do you want to start some thinking around innovations? There's always problem to solve, right? People don't take their iron folic acid. Why don't they take their iron folic acid? Do you want to start doing small research among those ones in their facility that people don't complete? What are the challenges that you face? You have them documented down, right? And then some of these things come for you. You might find yourself one day in an interview, and what they'll be asking you might be that, where is there low coverage or low uptake of iron folic acid for among pregnant women? You already have a paper that you have developed on it. So those are some of the things that we can be talking about, and it's not a one-off thing. Mentoring is very important. I'm very glad with what Tosin is doing, and we're also available. One of you, with which you can reach out and get access to some of these more informations and live discussion beyond just what you pick on in your textbooks or on the internet. Thank you, Tosin, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Ludoto, for this time. I really appreciate the sacrifice for stepping out of your meeting and to be with us. Thank you for honoring us. We really appreciate you. So we'll release you to go back to your meeting, and then we'll know that
Thank you.
any
Bye.
anytime we call on you, will respond. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah,
All
bye.
right. So,
Yeah.
Bye.
yes. So we're going to move to our second guest now, my dear friend Aloy Matuforo, while Oluto was talking, the third guest came in, but I think he needs to kind of attend to certain things, so he's going to join us again. So Aloy, thank you so much once again for the patience, and thank you for being here with us. And before we go on with you, I would like to quickly mention about 8 things that he mentioned several things, but about 8 to 10 of them came out strongly for me. And I call it 8S from Ebenezer. 8S from Ebenezer. And I like using quotes. So the first thing Ebenezer made mention is about service. He talked about service. Be ready to serve. Be ready to serve your community. Be ready to serve your supervisor. You be ready to serve in any platform that you find yourself. And leadership is all about service. That is first thing he made mention. Other thing second thing he made mention is sacrifice. You must be ready to pay the price. You must be ready to pay the price. He talked about all the sacrifices he made. He labored to be where he is today. So you don't expect everything to turn overnight. The third thing he made mention is being submissive, humility. He talked about being humble. Things might not go the way you have planned it, but you need to receive, you need to one way or the other receive insult. You'll be insulted. You'll be discouraged, but your clothes of humility, being submissive, will really, really help you to navigate the trying days. But I assure you, it's just a phase of your life. He also talked about servanthood, servanthood, very close to service. All right, there must be something that you can serve on, but you must also have the attitude of a servanthood. That means being able to be mentored. It is one thing to have a mentor; it's another thing for you to allow yourself to be mentored. That servanthood attitude is needed for you to navigate through. He also talked about being ready to start again. Don't say that you have gone far, you have wasted some time, you have stayed at home for some time. No, be willing to ready to start again. My dear brother Aloy will also tell you so his ability to start things again, start afresh. It's not too late. In as long that you can still breathe, then there's still more room for you to expand. I know the story of somebody, the owner of the KFC. He actually established KFC, the wonderful KFC that many people are eating, at a later days of his life. He also talked about being able to understand the subject matter. Yes, you are in the field of nutrition. You should be able to have a full grasp, a full grip of what you know. No, even if you know little, be proud of the little that you know. Then he also talked about being a problem solver, solution. You should not be a problem. You should not be making a. You should not be someone who is causing problem. Rather, you should be a problem solver. And then he also talked about being sincere. You should be sincere with yourself. When things are not going the way you wish or the way you plan, be sincere. When you make mistake, be sincere. When you forge someone, be sincere. When things need to be done, be sincere to really open up. All right. And then lastly, you also talk about give room for self-development. Self-development. That was when you talk about online courses that you can do and then they can use to develop yourself as you move on. There are other points that he may mention, but I'll still keep them in the cooler while we give room for our second guest to speak. We have our third guest here, Taiwo Aladesomi. Taiwo, you're welcome. And then so let's quickly give room for our third guest, and then he will be able to share from the wealth of his experience. So, Aloy, once again, thank you for being here, Dr. Madukoro. So now we call you Doctor because so please tell us. I know it's very scary for us to hear that you are when you introduce yourself that you said you've done with first PhD, now you are doing another PhD. I mean, that is very, very not scary, but that is very, very interesting that we really, really wish to know. But before we go about that, towards that, tell us, Dr. Maduforo, how did you transition from being a student to becoming a professional?
Thank you very much for inviting me. Is something that sometimes when I think about it, I say sometimes you did some things consciously and some of them unconsciously, but you know that you have where you are going to. So one of the things that is for me, I went to university at Imo State University. That was my first degree, where I did human nutrition and dietetics, and I did my second degree in dietetics at University of Ghana. Then my third degree, which is PhD, I did it at University of Nigeria and Soka, PhD human nutrition. But in all this, when I started my undergraduate program in my second year, I knew I was going to be a teacher. I knew I was going to be a lecturer. That was when I started preparing myself for that position, and I was focused in terms of what are the things I need to do. I can still remember that some of my notes, my undergraduate notes, I kept them very well, and I wrote them very well. I said I might need it when I start teaching. It's still in my bookshelf in the village, even though I've never touched it since I started teaching. So, but it helped me to study like someone that wants to teach. That was one thing that happened then. It helped me to study like someone that wants to teach. So I studied to know, not just to pass an exam. So that if you ask me question, even when I have finished my program, I've graduated, I will not say, "Oh, I remember that time I wrote it in the exam." No, I studied to know nutrition. That's one thing I did as a student. And then there's that's kind of trying to make sure I am active in different aspects. I was also active in religious aspects, in terms of fellowship on campus and all those stuff. But it's hardly any of my teachers that don't know me in terms of my lecturers in school. While I'm trying to bring this up is that you harm you might be doing to yourself by hiding now until you want to go for your masters and you are looking for who will write a reference letter for you, you can't find. And you call me because you are in my mentorship platform. I can talk a little about your academic program because I never taught you. And most times, some people I don't know call me to write a reference letter for them. I will tell them, I can't vouch for you because we have never had anything that can make me say I am vouching for this person. This person is intelligent. This person is this. Writing reference letter means if they are looking for you, they didn't find you, they will come to me. And do I have that relationship with you? So you need to build relationship with your teachers now, your lecturers while you're on campus. Building relationship does not mean unethical behavior. I mean, be active in class, ask questions when it is necessary, and participate in activities. With that, your lecturers will simply know you. But if you are, when I was in University of Nigeria, when I was teaching, there are some group of students we call Abuja students. They only come to school during exam. They don't come to school during class period. So in exam hall, you'll be seeing strange faces. You ask them, "Are you in this department?" They will tell you yes. They will bring out their ID cards, bring out everything. You see that they were actually in the department, but they never attended classes. So tomorrow they will call you on phone. "Oh, sir, I was your student." You'll be thinking, "Where did I meet this person? I can't remember." You even bring out results. So don't be an Abuja student in your school. Be a very serious student that your teachers can vouch for you even after 5 years, 10 years you have graduated. You are looking for a PhD program. They say, "Okay, someone should write a reference letter for you." You should be able to. I can mention 10 persons that can write reference letter for me now. It's not within 2 days, all of them will be written. Those are things that you should be able to build your network on, and it will help you to navigate the hurdles of your professional person. So let me not talk too much. I know that you have more questions, which others can come in. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, for sharing your transition from being a student to becoming a lecturer. I mean, a professional in this in that regard. May I also quickly tell you, my dear friends, that Dr. Madufro made mention of several points, but because of time, I will just talk about three things, three key things that he made mention. Number one, he talked about you not hiding yourself. Please, everyone is gifted. Everyone is gifted. There is a talent that you have. That talent may be directly related to nutrition. It might be indirectly related to nutrition. It may not even be related to nutrition, but there is a gift that you have. But it's saying that you should not hide yourself with the gift that you have. Whatever gift that you have, please express yourself and let others who are around you be aware of the talent that you have. He also talked about the fact that you should build relationship. Many students, I can tell you this, for more than 10 years of being a teacher, I can categorically tell you that many students don't are not conscious of building relationship. They are believe that whenever they are done, or as soon as they are done in school, that is the end of their studentship. They don't have any other thing to do with the school. As a matter of fact, the school has dealt with them, therefore they don't want to identify with the school. But the truth of the matter is this: it is very important for you to build relationship. There are two types of relationship that you should build. All right. The first is the upward relationship. That is a relationship with your lecturers. All right. Respect them. All right. Let them know you. Let them see the value that you have. Let them see the gift that you have. All right. Then there is also the parallel relationship. These are relationship with your friends and colleagues. All right. So please be make sure that you don't have anything against any of your colleagues. If you have anything against them, try and sort it out as a matured mind, because you don't know where you're going to meet again. There may be someone that may even recommend you for a job. There may be someone that may even link you up with somebody that may even help you. So please build relationship. And thirdly, he also talked about the fact that you should be active. Don't be passive in your studies. Be active. Be active in your studies. Be active in everything that you do, so that you can easily go back to build that, to refer to the record or to the storyline that you are building for yourself. Thank you so much, Dr. Maduforo, for sharing this insight with us. May I also ask you, sir, as a leadership expert, because for you, someone to have been running a leadership program or a degree in leadership, what will be your recommendation to us as students, as things that we should be conscious of? What are the skills? What are the skill set? What are the leadership competencies that you feel we should be aware of, that will make us to be relevant in the near future? All right. What are the leadership things? What are the skill set? What are the activities? What are your suggestions for us or to us in order to be relevant in a few years to come as students, especially in the context of leadership?
Thank you very much. Leadership is a multifaceted topic that we can talk about it till tomorrow. And in the context of being a leader at the level of undergraduate program, postgraduate program, or whatever level, there's always something that is common to every leader: is learning. You must be open to learning, and you must learning is a continuous thing. When I mean learning, it's not just learning your program in terms of learning nutrition. In the context of nutrition, it's not just being expert in nutrition. It's good that you know nutrition very well, so that if you are called upon, you can answer questions in nutrition. But learn other things. Learn how to lead people. So you need to read books on how to lead people. Then you need to observe others on how they are leading people successfully. So how will you observe others? You need a mentor. Very important. So if you just want to learn how to lead by only reading, you have not tested that. You will need a mentor that is actually leading, who you can actually say, okay, let me follow this person. Sometimes mentors are conscious that you are following them. Sometimes they are not conscious. You are just watching them. They don't even know that they are your mentors, but they know that, oh, this person, you know who you are watching, who you are following, and those stuff. And then there's something else that I have always done, and I did, and I'm still doing, is volunteer. You must learn to volunteer. Most times when you meet some students and you ask them to do something, they will tell you, how much will you pay? Sometimes there's actually money to be given to you, but it shouldn't be the first thing that should come to you when you are given an opportunity to do something that you know you have not done before. Volunteering is one of the characteristics of a leader, because in leadership, you're volunteering your time. You must learn to sacrifice all those stuff. Most times, leaders are not paid equal to, when I mean leaders, I mean true leaders, are not paid equal to what they are doing. Maybe if you call, ask Dr. Leshi, say, this program you have been organizing for several years, how much are you paid for organizing it? You will find out that nothing, but he has been volunteering to do it in order to build younger generations. So the volunteer is something that, let me tell you, sometimes some people say, I don't know how to volunteer. I don't know where to volunteer. Let me tell you one of the things I did to my students, and some of my students, and I did myself, is if you go to every state in Nigeria, you have state nutrition office. Now, you want to volunteer in nutrition, go to the state nutrition officer and meet the person that, I want to participate in your programs. I don't, it's not for money. I want to gain experience. When they are having different programs, you begin to build your capacity in community nutrition, build your capacity in something that, from volunteering, you get a job. From volunteering, you build network. You meet people from agencies, organizations that can say, this person has a skill that we can actually use. You apply for a position, the person that will interview you is the person you were working with in the field. It becomes like so close that you get the job. So you learn to volunteer. You set a goal. What do you want to achieve each year? Goal setting. You must be able to know what you want to achieve, and then you must be dedicated to it. Don't set a goal that is a dwarf goal, that even when you did nothing, you will achieve it. Or a goal that is too high, that even when you work for 24 hours, you will not get there. You should be able to set a goal that is achievable, so that when you achieve your goal, you feel satisfied. It's like a motivation. You are not demoralized that, oh, I couldn't achieve my goal last year. You should be able to communicate effectively. Learn effective communication. Sometimes you write email, you don't read it, and you send it out. And that has actually affected some graduates from getting admission abroad. They write emails, they don't read their emails, they click send. And instead of calling somebody a professor, you call the person processor, because you refuse to read it to proofread. Sometimes Google will change the spelling for you. Wrong grammar in your mails, they are very, very irritating to people that are living in developed countries. In fact, the whites, once they see that you have spoken wrong grammar, they won't even reply your mail. That's why some of the professors you have been writing to have not been responding. So always read your mails. Be careful on how you communicate. Know what is Nigeria English, and know what is the general English that every other person can understand. When I say in the earlier statement I made that you should build relationship, learn how to build a relationship with a senior and how to build relationship with your colleagues. Because a senior opens up and try to relate with you, does not give room for disrespect. Because if he begins to notice disrespect from you, he will begin to withdraw. And you'll be struggling to say, oh, he has not been answering my mail, because there's a disrespect coming from somewhere. So learn how the language you use and how to build that relationship. That anytime that you'll be able to communicate both with your senior. I have a lot of senior mentors and senior colleagues that have guided me while I'm growing. And then you also have colleagues that are within your level, which also you relate respectfully in that context. Also, in terms of work-life balance, give time to rest. Sometimes you don't rest. When you are resting, sometimes you have to go into reflection. What is the thing I did today that I should be able to do again? Self-reflection is one of the characteristics of a leader that you must adopt, and you must know what is the thing that I did that I would have done better. You reflect each day on some things. There are some people you might need to apologize to at the end of the day, and be open to criticism. If you're a leader and you're not criticized, then check yourself. You must be open to criticism. People will criticize no matter what you do, no matter how good you have done something. There must be someone that will say you would have done it this way. So take feedbacks very well, open to feedbacks, and then embrace challenges. I've not done it before, so you won't do it. No. When uh, I did internship. So I'm a registered dietitian in Nigeria. So I did internship. During that time, I had a mentor that there was something that was so difficult for them to do in the department then. It was related to computer. I didn't study computer, but I believe that I can do anything when I want to do it. Google is available to you. Internet is available to you. You have YouTube. Almost anything you think of, you want to do, somebody have done a video on it. Embrace that challenge. Go and read it up. Go and watch a video, and you do it. So I did similar thing. Anytime they need someone to do something that is challenging, they will call me. So the same thing in terms of publication. When I finished my undergraduate program, I went to my supervisor. I said, my supervisor gave me all the research she have done for some time and asked me to start writing out articles from them. That's how I started writing my publications. So I started drafting out articles, first set of articles from a lot of research work for her. And in the process, I started having publications to my name. So what are the things you need to do? You need to be open to challenges. Things you have not done before. Embrace it. Stay focused.
Yeah.
Stay informed.
Okay.
Be resilient. Because you tried it and the thing is not working, does not mean it will never work. For you to have an electric bulb, because someone was resilient to do an experiment for 1,000 times. So don't say it will never work. Those ideas you have can work, but you need to actually be resilient in continuing in doing it. If you use this method, it didn't work today, use the other method the next time, and you see yourself getting it. Because you also need to take risk sometimes, but your risk must be calculated. Calculated risk. I didn't say you should gamble, but if you look at something that, okay, this is something that a leader is a risk taker because he has idea that nobody have tried. You need to be innovative. So you are taking a risk because if you fail in that your risk, if you fail, people will criticize you. But if you succeed, they will call you a hero.
Yeah. Wow.
So these are things that you should be able to build yourself around and always try to respect people, even when you come to the position of leadership. Humility is very important because if they start calling you student president and you did not understand that it is servants you are, you begin to think that you are not equal with your lecturers. And you begin to challenge people that are your seniors. So respect people, be humble, no matter where you get to in the position of leadership.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing all these insights with us. I know uh you need to go now, but before you go, there's a quick question for you, and the question here is saying that you have Of course, we understand that you have shared with us a number of skill sets required to become a leader in nearest future. But a student is asking a question here that what are the particular skills this time around? I'm sure the person is referring to soft skills, all right, that you think a 21st century nutritionist should have outside the leadership skills. What are the soft skills that you feel the 21st century nutritionist should have that will make them to be more competent as a nutrition graduate?
Thank you. There's no one single soft skill. There are a lot of soft skills you should have. Let me tell you, one of the things that is lacking in most of our society today is integrity. And when you come to your class among your colleagues, they ask you who is faithful among your classmates. I know that you will think and think before you give one person or two persons. That you know that if money is in that person's hands, it will not get missing. Or if something is happening, you should be able to vouch for someone. Are you have you built a reputation of integrity? That's one thing you should build for yourself. Number two, you should be able to learn what is on current trend in nutrition. Because if your nutrition knowledge is obsolete, it is based on what a street person is saying or hearsay. You don't read articles that are published currently. You don't acquaint yourself with the current trend in different types of research that is ongoing. You will still be doing a lot of research in an old-fashioned way. Even your methodology, that's why the paper cannot be published in international journals because they have seen that there are a lot of things that you are not doing that is current. So you should be able to read up. Now, when I said learning is a continuous thing, professional development is a soft skill that you must build in your mind, that is a lifelong thing. It's something that you must keep doing. Integrity is number one for me. There are a lot of people that want to employ. They are not looking for somebody that is highly skilled. They are looking for somebody that is trainable. Once you have gone to school and you are humble, you have integrity, they can train you in the job. They will employ someone that can train, but not someone who is pompous, who will chase customers away and is highly skilled. Who will buy what you are producing? So now building your skills. There are a lot of skills you build in IT today in nutrition. How do you conduct research analysis? Statistical analysis. You need to build your skills in those softwares if you don't know how to do it. Because even if you are going for a PhD program or postdoctoral program, they will always ask you, do you have those skills? Because those are things you bring to their lab that they will want to someone that have capacity to do them. So Ebenezer, when he was speaking, he talked about going on online courses. There are a lot of programs you can do on LinkedIn Learning. I mean, these skills, you can build them there. But one thing you should always know how to do is effective communication. If you cannot communicate effectively, it is very dangerous for you. Don't keep quiet when you should speak, and don't speak when you should keep quiet. So, those are
Wow,
my tips there.
wow, wow, wow.
Thank you.
Did you hear that? I love the last statement. Don't keep quiet when you're supposed to listen. All right, so please, he made mention of quite a number of things. I will recommend that you guys go back to all the recordings and listen and itemize every point that he made mention. He talked about integrity. You can imagine, integrity is key. All right, integrity is the foundation of any skill that you have. All right, he talked about writing. Do you know that he also talk about the fact that, if you don't know, Dr. Maduforo is one of the young nutritionists with highest number of publications in Nigeria. I can tell you. Just Google his name and you see the publications that he have. And how did you get here? He talked about how it all got started. Okay, so he's very prolific in his writing, but he didn't become an expert in writing. So if you're afraid of writing, if you're scared of writing, all you just need to do is to start writing. And how do you start writing? By interacting with your lecturers to guide you. He talked about how he went to meet his lecturer and who mentored him in writing. He also talked about analysis. I mean, I can tell you this: if there's no other soft skill that you have, you should be able to have the statistical analysis. That is a joker that you as a nutritionist must have. You must be able to know, be able to use this software. You must be able to use the WHO Antro, WHO Antro Plus, the Enact, the what are that software now? The WHO Antro, WHO Antro Plus. Then there is also Smart. All right, there are a number of software. We now talk about statistical analysis. Now we talk about R. We are talking about Stata. We are talking about SPSS. It should be able to know at least two of these software. We have SaaS. We have quite a number of softwares that you can use, and you should be familiar with those software. If you know anybody that is very prolific, that is very good with this software, please reach out to them and let them guide you and let them mentor you. Communication is also very key. He also talked about being able to be familiar with the current trend in nutrition. All right, current trend in nutrition, you must be familiar with this current trend in nutrition. Thank you so much, Dr. Maduforo, for this insight that you have. Guys, if you have any other question, Dr. Maduforo will soon leave us. Please feel free to drop your question before he leaves. Please feel free to drop your question before he leaves. So I'm going to ask you the last question, so you can release you now. And the last question I will ask you is, would you kindly give us a candid, simple one sentence or two sentences recommendation, things, tips that you feel strongly will make someone who is a nobody in nutrition to become a somebody in nutrition in another 5 years, in another 10 years? What singular tip or two sentence recommendation can you give to us? Thank you.
Thank you. Number one, I'm going to give tips instead of using sentence. Um,
Okay.
yeah. Number one, be an expert. Don't. I usually tell students, don't pass exams, excel. So for you to excel, you study to know. So be an expert. Number two, volunteer. In the place of volunteering, you are serving, you have myriads of opportunities to meet different levels of people that you would never meet if you never volunteered. I'm telling you from experience. You will meet people from those organizations that is ringing in your head where you want to work, where you are volunteering, and they will meet you. You are setting an opportunity for networking for yourself. So while you are volunteering, you are networking. Number three, that your BSc research you are currently doing or you want to do, or your MSc research, publish it. Make sure you publish it. So don't copy and paste. Learn how to do it. Do it well and get it published. You can start with the local journals. You don't need to go to international journals first. Get it published. If you get it published, seek for opportunities to be in a research group that you can get some things being done. If it's not in your area, doing a lot of volunteering will give you opportunities that you never thought of you will ever get. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much for this insight. At this junction, I want to say thank you once again. So, if you have any other question for Dr. Maduforo, please feel free to drop your question. And you can also reach us that we can send your question to him directly, because I know that he's going to leave because he had to stay back to quickly respond to our call today. On behalf of the students of nutrition in Nigeria, I want to say thank you, Aloy, for being here. We know that when we call on you again, you are going to answer us. Thank you for the sacrifice. Thank you for the commitment. And of course, thank you for being a source of inspiration to us. And we are very grateful. We are proud of you. And we're also proud to have you in our life to associate with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Um,
for the opportunity to share. Bye
you're
bye.
welcome. Bye. So now I'm going to hand at this junction hand over to my colleague, Josephine, who is going to engage our last guest. Josephine, over to you. As we ask our guests to quickly tell us something that we don't know about him. He need to introduce himself to us, and then Josephine will take it up from there. Thank you.
Thank you,
Hello,
Dr.
everyone.
Leslie.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Just go ahead.
Okay, I should go ahead now. Okay, thank you so much. Let me first of all appreciate the organizers, Dr. Leshi and the team and all the crew for organizing this at this crucial time where there are lots of people that where nutrition is even transitioning higher and bigger. You can see that many things that are happening in nutrition space this time, and there are a lot of people that have questions and needing answers. So I want to appreciate you this time and for bringing me in. I'm highly humbled. Thank you so much. My name is Taiwo Adesomi. I am the nutrition program officer for Elinkela. I work with Elinkela in FCT here, Abuja. Um, I'm a public health nutritionist. I have a background of food science and it's focusing on administering vitamin supplementation to children 6 to 59 months, supporting the nutrition department of the FCT Primary Healthcare Board, and also the national level across the Elinkela implementing states. I've been with Elinkela for more than 2 years now. I've implemented in Ekiti and also Lagos states on different projects. Um, so uh, I have a master degree and in nutrition. This has been and the journey for has been a long ride and quite interesting since my first degree and second degree. Yeah, that's for now. I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much once again.
Okay, thank you, sir, for that lovely introduction. Sorry, I want to make sure that I'm very audible.
You are very, very audible.
Yeah, I
Okay,
can hear
so
you.
thank you, sir, for that introduction. Me personally, I know Mr. Taiwan, and that was a humble introduction. If you know, you know. So, from all the roles you hold and all the past experiences you had, it's obvious and it's evident enough that I can say that you already have nutrition leadership skills that you probably have used in all your projects and everything. So I want to, unfortunately, I don't know, some students currently on this virtual session are not currently at the conference. But for those people that don't know, the theme of this conference is basically leadership. So I want you to emphasize something for students that are not here. From your own perspective, what do you think how do you think students should get that leadership experience? Because from everything they've said at the conference, because currently me myself, I'm between studentship and professionalship. I'm in between. So what skill do you think, or what action do you think I can take to get that leadership role that will be useful in the workforce? Because after this conference, I'm pretty sure that a lot of these jobs and everything, they'll be asking, do you have leadership role? So what do you think students can do get this role, this skill in the first place.
Okay. If I get you right, you want to know the link between the studentship and the professionalism, right? And also linking with leadership experience. Is that what you're asking?
Yes, yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Um, yes, it's been a, like I said, it's been a quite interesting journey for me. Glory to God. Um, when I finished my first degree, it was basically things around the laboratory, things around food companies. But however, I have interest in nutrition. Um, so my first degree was actually food science and technology. It was at the master level that I targeted nutrition. So between being studentship and the professionalism now, it's quite a long journey. It's been a long journey actually. Um, you see that um, I have to be in different places at no at different times. No, no transitioning from food scientists which are actually being built to for industries and entering into the nutrition space, which is actually more of the community, public care generally, and the rest. So it's quite actually a long journey. But what I want to say is that um, putting myself in positions and strategically positioning myself for opportunities, which is also one of the great things that everybody, all the students that are also in line of being a student and also wanting to become a professional, you have to really position yourself for opportunities at every time, at every level. So there are a lot of things around this. You can just like the other presenter that I said before I joined, one key thing that we actually always stand out is volunteerism. Okay, let me just share a little bit of my journey. Probably people can also learn from that. So, like I said, actually more of the laboratory initially, and then after my NYC, after my this thing, I it was actually a volunteerism role that actually put me in my space which I wanted. Yes, um, it was because of volunteerism that transitioned me from the food science area which I was into nutrition space which I am currently. And I'm doing very well. So all glory to God. So volunteerism is one of the important things that everybody must actually really harness and other things. Yes. I don't know whether I've said one or two things that you really had to on. Yeah. So as regards leadership role, um, yeah, everybody is a leader. I believe that everybody is a leader, and at every level, whether big at home, everywhere you are a leader. So you have to have some sort of this this assertiveness within you that you are a leader, and then that has been what has actually also helped me right from time secondary schools to university days and the rest. And that's what also brought me out because leadership will surely find you out one day at any level that you have. Yes, so it's better you now take up the responsibility and ensure that you maximize it at that time, train yourself and prepare yourself as what you need to become. Yes. So this join together is can say it is a good thing. Yeah.
Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you so much, sir, for that. That's an extensive explanation. Um, I'm trying to. Does anybody have questions so that we can ask Taiwo directly now that he's available? If you have questions, put it in the comment section. I think Dr. Leshi will be able to see it, or if I see it, I'll read them out. Um, yeah, ask the questions.
So while we are waiting for more questions to come in, may I just ask you, Taiwo, as someone who have been able to work in such an organization where you currently work now, what will you identify as key competencies that every student should have, or key skills that every student or every graduate of nutrition should have for them to be around where you are or at the same position where you are?
Okay, thank you so much for that. Yeah, is at different levels anyway. At the student level, you, like I said, you have to really prepare yourself. First of all, knowing that there are a lot of competition, you are competing with lots of people, lots of, so the availability space is not so much. Yes, there is, but there are a lot of places you compete. So you have to really prepare yourself for this. That's one. Not having knowing that um, skills that, because we are a lot of, you can turn talents and you can magnify it and turn them to skills and those kind of things, but you need to actually know that um, organizations, the area in which you have targeted your engine towards, you want to go into public health, you want to become nutrition, because nutrition is diverse. Nutrition is diverse. So are you going for the programming? Are you going to, if for the programming where I am right now, you must be able to understand that the current situation of the of nutrition current situation of the country right now. At least be acquaint yourself with knowledge and information about what is happening, so that as opportunities are coming, you are just jumping on them, and targeted ones, you are working on them. So you are working on that, working on them, and then you are putting yourself out there. So getting some of the things that you need actually are just, as a student, you need to also know how to network, meeting people, attending conferences. All these things are very important. Some of you are doing that already, or attending conferences like we have the NSN conference is ongoing now. Yes, it's a very good one where you meet people, you meet with other people, you understand what people are doing, what organizations are doing. Yeah, so you have to be able to network. Then you need to also prepare yourself in several ways. um, there are some statistical analysis that the last person mentioned. You need to really also begin to learn all those statistics, statistical analysis, all those applications. You need to really get yourself acquainted to them as well to prepare yourself. Because this is just, it's very hard to say, get yourself just become computer literate. Beyond the being computer literate, now you need to really get some analytical skills. You need to use your Microsoft Excel, the simplest one, very well. You need to use your Microsoft Word very well, PowerPoint very well, and know all those rules of presentations and the rest. So all these are just the normal basic that you get to really understand. So if you are still out there and you are still struggling with this, this is, you are far way back. Yes, but if you have gotten this, still keep on advancing the knowledge of how to use your computer very well, because no organization want to put you down and say, come and learn computer skills and the rest. Yes.
Wow, great. Well, let me just quickly add to what Tayo have just said now. And thank you so much, Tayo, for that insight. And I will also just want to tell you that irrespective of where you are, whether you have known it very well or you are still trying to know it, I just want to encourage you that you should not give up, right? There is always hope for you, irrespective of your stage, irrespective of your level. And that's one of the things that we are committed to do. A few of us are coming together and we are committed to ensure that all the skill set that you're lacking will make them available for you. And I also quickly want to use the opportunity to inform you of a mentorship program that is coming up very soon. It's going to be different from the mentorship program that you are familiar with, and we just need to fine tune it, and then you see about the call, apply for it, and then we'll be able to bring you in so that we'll be able to meet you exactly at the point of your needs. All right, and then we'll be able to help you. Over to you, Josephine.
Okay, thank you, sir, for everything you said, from learning significant skills to making sure you are relevant and to not just restrict yourself to ordinary word and the archaic stuff. You know, we were talking about how we need to be current in time and we shouldn't use our studentship as an excuse to be not flexible in our learning. So thank you so much for in that. But I also want to ask just one thing, just to clarify that do you think there are any software? I know they've mentioned some, like they mentioned WHO Antra and all, but do you are there any other software that they've missed that we should just take note of? Okay, it has gone off.
Yeah,
Okay, because
I think yeah, it will be
okay,
internet
maybe
connection.
round.
So you can
Yeah,
ask
the
me the
internet
question.
is
Maybe I
bad.
will just answer the question.
Okay. Delish. Are there any other softwares that may have been omitted that you can please like re-emphasize on so that we can get that right?
All right, so I will tell you, apart from somebody has actually asked this question earlier, I will tell you that apart from the leadership skills that is general, that the which is the scope of this year's conference, I will particularly tell you there are other 5 to 6 skills that you should be familiar with. Number one, in this context, you should be able to articulate and express yourself in writing. This is very key. You should be able to, it's a skill, all right? We do not bring this skill from heaven, but you have to work on that skill. And once this only secret to this skill, there's only one key to this skill, and that is the more you do it, the more you become a pro. The more you do it, the more you become a pro. So you need to write, all right, and then write more, all right, write. Other skill is you need to also have effective communication skill. Aloy made mention of this earlier on about being able to communicate effectively, either as a dietitian or as a nutritionist. You are going to interface with people, and it is very, very key for you to work on yourself. You need to work on your diction. You need to also work on the construct of grammar. You need to just pay more attention to that. And beyond that, it's also very key for you to pay attention to basic statistical skills that is essential for every nutritionist. Every nutritionist need to be familiar with this statistical skill. If you don't need to know all of them, but at least you should be able to choose at least 3 of any of the statistical skills that we have. And if you think about it, there's no way you should not be able to make use of WHO Antro or WHO Antro Plus or Epi Info. You should also be able to use R. You should be able to use Theta. You should be able to use possibly SaaS. That is okay. You should also be able to make use of other skills, even beyond the core one that we use in nutrition. For instance, Power BI, you should be able to make use of it. You should be able to make use of Python if you have access to it. All right, these are the skills that I know for sure will make you to be more relevant. All right, they most likely may not have exposed you to them in your institution. However, there are countless of self-taught tutorial that you can use for you to get equipped in this skills. And I will also just maybe make reference to 2 publications made by me where I actually itemize or identify core skills and competencies that organizations are looking for in nutrition graduates, right? That's a paper. You just Google it, just type Leshi 2021 or Leshi and Ogundero 2021. You'll be able to see that publication. There's another publication by Leshi also, Leshi Etor in 2022. That's Leshi, Iweha, and then Ariyo. This publication, just Google it, all right? In that second publication, we talked about the perception right? Where we talk about all the skills that we are supposed to have, and the perception of the employers towards those skills, and then what they feel you should have. Can you imagine? The employers have identified the skills that they are expect from you, that you should have beyond what you have been taught in school. That communication must be important. So these are available for our use online. Just Google them and you'll be able to consciously work on them. Set your goals, just as Maduforo talked about, made mention of. Set your goals, be conscious about it, be deliberate about it, and go for it. I can tell you, heaven is just a beginning point for whatever you, our sky rather is beginning point for whatever you're going to get into. Thank you very much. Oh, you're back. Thank you very much, Mr. Taiwo. Thank you for being with us once again. I would just want to ask you before we
Okay.
close today's meeting, what will be your one tip or two tips that you can give us, right? That based on the exposure that you have, based on the experience that you have gathered, what is that tip that you feel can make someone to move from becoming nobody to becoming somebody in the field of nutrition?
Okay. Thank you so much for that. One of the things I feel you need to actually do, those tips are one, just like the former person said, he said integrity matters. So it's one of the soft skills you need to gather is integrity. You need to also know how to patience, knowing that many this century, many of us, especially Nigerians, we are not patient enough. So um, you see us want to become everything in a whole day. Yeah, so you need to be patient. Learn to put yourself out there as well. When you learn very well, you may not know everything 100%, but if you lay low and you put yourself out there, you want to volunteer, you want to help out. First of all, look out for what you want to give than what you want to collect. So try as much as possible to say, because the world is looking for those that have answers to questions. They are looking for problem solver. The little technical skill, the little web design skill, the little skills, whatsoever that you have, you want to render help. So seek to serve first. So when you try to serve people, then you see that things come back to you positively. These are very, very important things that you must know. And also be hopeful. Yeah, don't relent. Don't be discouraged with the situation of things, but keep up what you are doing. You might have applied, you might have tried to push one thing or the other and it's not working. Keep pushing it. Keep pushing it. These are things that you really need to know. One day, very soon, everything be put in place. So there are many things, but I think my phone may be going off soon.
All right.
You know,
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, we are actually done with this session. We targeted 1 hour, but we are now overshot our
yes.
hour mark. So thank you so much, Taiwo, for joining us. I really appreciate you for commitment, for the sacrifice. We know that you are going to make use of your good office to bring other people as you advance in your professional career. Everyone, once again, I want to say thank you for joining us, and I'm sure it has been valuable for your time. Please, I will recommend that you spend time to think, to watch over this video and this session and reflect more on all that we have said. And peradventure, you have questions, the things for us to clarify, or things that are troubling you as a student in the field of nutrition, please feel free to reach out. Feel free to reach out. You can reach out to us. You can reach out to any of your lecturer. You can just ask for me, all right, and then we'll be able to respond to you. My email address is the best way to reach out to me, and my email address is ttlesh ttlesh at gmail.com. titlesh@gmail.com. So that's my email address. Feel free to reach out to me. I will do my best to reply you to respond to your question. I look forward to seeing you in the course of the year, and I can tell you that there's so much that we have for you, student. We had a little delay in the course of this year for the induction of graduate from school, but I can assure you, in the coming year, we should be able to get that done. I promise you that we should be able to get that done with our team on ground. Everything will go on as planned. Thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to seeing you. And for those of you that are physically present at the conference, tomorrow is another great day for us. We're going to have fun together, and I know that you will not even believe what we have for you. It's going to be very, very educative. You can see what we have in my background. All right, we're going to have a nutrition clinic session, and we're also going to have nutrition trivia. It's going to be very valuable for your time, and you will not regret that you actually embark on the journey of being at the conference. Thank you, everyone, once again for joining us. We look forward to seeing you yet at another time. Bye for now.